Looking at how the resources of the Niger Delta people can benefit the people of the region. Yeah, there's so much in the region, there's so much in the country, but how are we, the people of Nigeria, benefiting from these resources? Year in, year out, we have budgets running into trillions of naira, but when you look deep down, you see that it's just hanging, it doesn't really get to people. So the work of Niger Delta Budget Monitoring Group is to follow up these budgets, to see what they are being used for, whether they are really utilized for what they are meant for. The projects we see in the budget, are they really implemented? Yeah, but you see what is coming out, you find some of them abandoned, some of them only existing in paper. No, you don't find them in the field. So part of what we're doing is bringing out this information as it affects the people, affects the community, affects the different communities. Initially, we get this information, it's disseminated at the national level, at the state level, but we thought it wise that it should change. Yeah, because the people that are concerned are not really having the information. That is why we are here to be bringing information to your doorstep about the issues that are affecting you as regards the content. So maybe I can't get here, my colleagues will tell me. Thank you.
I want to ask this question. Please, is there any way we can get close to the people whom we voted to power?
The people?
We voted them to power. Is that any way? Because this area is like a tradition. The last call you receive is at the swearing in. And after the swearing in, they will change their line, they will change their houses. In fact, ordinary councillor here, 50 councillors in Oro, you can only have like 12 or 13 living here in Oro. The rest are in Ibu. Not to talk of local government chairman in Abuja, senator are outside the country. So I'm asking, how can we get contact with these people?
We also here is creating this awareness. At least you become aware of how government is utilizing your money and whether we as citizens are really getting benefit of it. You see, ideally, as I mentioned in the morning, is that government should consult us. Yeah, they should know our priority when developing this budget. It's not just putting in budget what they feel we should have. But what we see in the budget is the means of siphoning money. Yeah, I'm surprised that even those of you from Oro don't even know where some of these projects are, whether they're existing or not. Yeah. So how can we link up with at least the local government? Yeah, to be local government has its own budget, even though they are not autonomous. States still control them, but they still have at least the little money they work with.
People accepted and we don't do so. But when we came back, the case is different. I really don't know why. We keep calling people and they don't want to come out for meetings. Please, sir, you have a wide experience in this field. If you can bring home those good ideas on how to form this network and assess the budget of Akwa Ibom State so that some of these problems can be easily solved. The reason why Cross River State is able to assess budget easily is because they have a network. Like we went for a training in Delta on budget monitoring and we asked to form a network, Akwa Ibom State CSO. We all agreed to do so, but when we came back home, nobody is picking your call, nobody accepts to come out for meetings. So okay, I was not like that. Please, since you have an experience in this field, like you've traveled far and wide, you've helped build other states, you can come back home. I'm not saying you should come back, like stay here with us. Can you just give us some of these ideas that will help us too as CSOs in Akwa Ibom State to assess budget and solve some issues.
I just said that as community or community leaders, we have representatives in the State House of Assembly. Let us make our needs known to this people, and then they will in turn try to see them in the budget. We know that not all our needs can come in one budget. It's not possible. If you are bringing your needs to your local, to your representatives, even if one or two are going into the budget ahead, at least your needs are being captured in the budget. But the ministries, what they complain usually is that there's no money made available for them to consult communities in the budget process. They don't have the money. Like now, the budget is being prepared at Ministry of Education. The ministry does not have the money to consult all the communities to get their input into the budget. So ideally, it should be the representatives from those communities, the local government, the councillors at the world level, and the local government, the legislators, the House of Assembly members at the state level should interact with the communities to bring their input into the budget. So we encourage communities to interact with their representatives, not just give them at arm's length. During election, they come and gather with you, vote for them, immediately after voting, go away on the election. But we should try to engage them, let them know what they are doing for us. These are our major needs, and they will now be getting into the budget gradually.
From what you said now, these assessments that will be part of what the budget document. I'm calling on us as CSOs. You can take it upon yourself. And this is as NGO, whether funding is there for that or not. You can take it upon yourself. In Delta, we are trying to do what they call community charter of demand. And charter of demand, we broke it into different segments. We have the need assessment that is done participatory, and we are able to like do a ranking at the community level of the different groups, the men, the parents, and youth group. And after that, we do a prioritization. Now that will tell you what the community needs, which you're not going to put in as their own charter of demand. So I'm calling on us as council, we can take it upon ourselves. Let's assist this community. They cannot wait for the electorate for them to come and vote. They never do that. They are letting them ask for themselves. But we as CSOs, we can take it upon ourselves to help this community. I think that will be a good part so that we prepare this community. And at that point, they have a working tool, like a framework now, which they can engage the government whenever they need their budget. Every month. But I know for Delta, I save up to date right time. And my community is down, but they are all amortized. And they will just gather all their costs. So that during that time of budget planning, these things can fall. Communities can be
in support of what Madam here said concerning contract awards and the rest. You know, these days we see a scenario where state government, maybe local government, states and federal governments, maybe NDDC too are doing work, and are we hearing? Okay? You are getting? Contracts are given to contractors. Men and materials are mobilized to site, and you hardly see signposts. At a point, you get confused of whose department, whether federal government, state, local government, or NDDC is doing this work. Maybe this one points to the fact that, like somebody alluded to, that the same contract will be awarded to different people and handled by different departments. Like federal government will be doing the same work, NDDC will be doing the same work, and awarded to maybe different contractors. And you hardly see signposts. It is even happening in this state. People get confused, and that maybe newspaper standpoint or whatever. They will argue and argue that the government, the contract belongs to federal government. Like even this our number one bridge which we have been orchestrating as if this old bridge, this one old and one bridge alone, we want to turn this Bayelsa into Dubai or something. You understand? That at one breath, it's federal government that is doing it. And the state government is claiming it's them doing it. Like this other level route that will link Ibogini. We are confused. You understand now? So if contractors, if those who are awarding contracts will encourage contractors to put on signposts, this idea of we try to allude it to several project managers or whatever will come to a stop. You understand now?
Yeah.
When I was a little of a young boy, if a project comes to my community, I'm from Navy Mining, and we'll be hearing the story that social project is coming. Merely seeing the signpost alone settles me when I see the signpost. That something good is coming to my place. But these days, maybe because of the kind of impunity that is attached to the contracts and the rest, we are not seeing the signposts where a contract is said to be allocated and to be executed in the particular or cited in a particular place. So the best thing is government and their clients, contractors, whatever, they should make sure that contract signposts are erected at the contract site so that we will know who to go to. You understand now?
That's the point.
Because they are trying to hide their identity. To be clouded up with a lot of confusion so that you don't know who to approach, who to go to. So if the signposts are being planted at the appropriate site, it will be better for us to address our grievances or whatever issue we want to pick up with. Maybe the government or the contractor.
So I've said this several times that people are governed the way they are.
Yeah.
People are governed the way they are.
That is true.
We live in a country, a society where citizens see government as an alien authority. We say government. Who is the government? Government has never changed any society. It is people that change their society. I worked with some guys from the UK and I told them, even in your country, there's a way you citizens will behave. You will have people who will mess up your nation. There are people who will have access to governance in your place. They will turn your society upside down. So the day citizens stop asking the right question, the day citizens stop playing their role, that is the day they will start getting things that are other societies will see it as an aberration. So we should see, like now, how many of our people follow the budget cycle? Even as the individual, as active citizens, as people in the different organizations, even at our local communities. There are supposed to be citizens' input when immediately the cost circular
Comes out. Need assessment.
I have gone to a project site where in the community, in my own community, where they are doing toilet for school for about 15 million naira. Not just that, how do we come to the principal called us at the level of community association that they were afraid that the children may not be able to, they will not allow their children to use the facility because of the poor quality of materials they were using.
For 15 million?
Yes. You know, so we followed up and told them what to do. And not only that, when we got to the museum, we discovered that it was a political patronage. A politician gathered 3 or 4 of his boys and gave it to them. The boys on their own went around. The engineer in the ministry who's supposed to supervise
Yes,
the
yes.
project bought it from them. And the question is, okay, if the supervisor
engineer like
becomes the contractor, who now supervises the government? It is because we did not do what we were supposed to do. I'm giving you my own example now. 2 occasions where we played the role of citizens and government went in and corrected the wrong thing that were done. So please, let it not just be that our role is just to, at the end of the day, to criticize actions. Let it be that we follow up, we are proactive. We intervene at the time that our intervention will.
Don't even think of the local communities, the rural areas. You only get to the rural areas if, peradventure, you have a commissioner from them, which is very wrong. If we feel that we are Delta State, we should be one. Get to most secondary schools, they have been renovating a lot of secondary schools in my village and not done. Nothing is there to show. Because we have little or nobody in the government. And it's not supposed to be like that.
What local government are you from?
You understand? Anyacha South. If you talk in terms of, I've written a lot of features about Anyacha South. If you talk in terms of Anyacha South, it looks as one of the most marginalized local governments in Delta State. In terms of any areas of infrastructure, I would say it and I would defend it anyway. Even when the governor is there, I would say it. 11 communities that made up the area, none.
What town are you from, sir?
Ewulu. Not single road there. The government set up a school in my place. The government built a school in my place, Citizenship and Leadership State. For over 6 years, it has been abandoned because there's no access route to the place. That shows the level of irresponsible government.
He's right, because just...
Then secondly again, let me beside that, we have the one river in my village. We have a river there in my village, very big river. And something like that, sometimes you look at the communities from Ewulu to Isha, we just within about 10, not up to 10 kilometers to link up those communities. But nothing is being done. You can only have something when you have an influence there. And so what I'm trying to say is that we are not putting this budget we are putting on this. I looked at it from a way of satisfying ourselves, not all inclusive. That's why I'm happy in this seminar.
And we are looking at the budget of the Delta State contrast to our interest in good governance, at least as accountability.